Pangum langhayate girim Yatkripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Namayom Vishnupadaya Shri Gaura Priyamurtaye Srimate Bhakti Vallabhatirtha Goswami Namine Kripaya Ksamatam Aparadhijanam Khalushayuta Shakta Sudinanaram Supathe Parichalaya Sarvadinam Pranamami cha Madhava Devapadam Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya eva cha Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Namo mahavadanyaya Krishna prema pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Granther Arambhe Kari Mangalacharan Guru Vaishnava Bhagavan Tine Rasmarane Hai Vigna Vinashan Anayase Hai Nija Vanchita Puran. So today is a auspicious Tithi, Srila Bhaktivinod Thakur's Holy Appearance Day. Bhaktivinod Thakur is principal among the associates of Srila Bhakti, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is the principal associates of Mahaprabhu. Not only principal associate, but he is sent by his own. Mahaprabhu has personally sent him in this material world to deliver the fallen souls in this material world. After the disappearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, all the 6 Goswamis, they disappeared. Narottam, Srinivasa, Shyamananda, all these great acharyas, those who have propagated the mission or the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gadadhar Pandit, etc., when all of them had disappeared, slowly, the teachings of Mahaprabhu were not understood properly by the living entities. It always happens in the, Kali Yuga particularly, that everything gets degraded with time. And the pure doctrines of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were not properly understood and they were not being properly transmitted to the future generations. They understood the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of Mahaprabhu's Prema Dharma, to be sahajiya, to be very, very simple, and not any practice is required. In this manner, there were 13 apasampradayas, pseudo sects, they have got developed, and they were all propagating the message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in a wrong way. Not only they were preaching, but their practices were also very, very bad. By associating with Matajis, with women, by performing various rasa, etc., like Krishna does, they think that in this manner we can get Krishna prem in the mood of gopis. Even today we have these. If you go to Radhakund and some other places, we see certain Swamijis, they are performing some pastimes with Matajis. You know that they are gopis and we are all, you know, aspiring for the gopi prem. And some in some places, some male devotees only, they are male persons only, they are decorating themselves as female, and then they are performing some pastimes thinking that we are gopi in our real life. Therefore, we want to bring that mood, and hence by artificial imitation of all these things, people were thinking they were misrepresenting the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is the mood of gopis is internal. It is not external by body change or by change of the dress. One cannot get the mood of a gopi. The mood is something very, very internal. So because of the misrepresentation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instructions and by their bad behavior, means activities, and also by their preaching, many educated class, aristocratic persons and rich persons, they all thought that Mahaprabhu Sampradaya is for low graded people, low mentality people. For those who are illiterate, for those who have no sense, it is the Mahaprabhu Sampradaya is for them. Because that is how they had acted and shown. Now, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw that what is happening. I have made this Krishna Prema so simple and so easy for all the living entities, but the living entities, they have not understood because of this so many pseudo sects and their bad propaganda. Unless until I send my own personal associate, there cannot be any chance of re-establishing my actual doctrines. So he sent his own personal associate, Srila Bhaktivinod Thakur, who is Kamala Manjari in the pastimes of Radha Krishna. One of the principal Manjaris of Sri Rupa Manjari. Principal servants of Rupa Manjari. Rupa Manjari is the principal servant of Lalita Sakhi. Lalita Sakhi is the foremost among the Radha Rani's Sakhis. So in this manner, Kamala Manjari, she has come as Bhaktivinod Thakur. And now Bhaktivinod Thakur, externally he seems to have accepted a male body. But our most revered Srila Gurudev says the actual identity of Bhaktivinod Thakur can be understood only by those persons who have submitted to him. The true identity of Bhaktivinod Thakur cannot be understood by any ordinary persons. So here, Bhaktivinod Thakur Mahasaya, he is Kamala Manjari, and our Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur also writes about Srila Bhaktivinod Thakur. He says that after the disappearance of Mahaprabhu and all his associates, the Gaudiya sky has become completely dark. It has become completely dark. The shining stars in the sky of Gaudiya, they disappeared one after another. And it became so dark that other than lightning or thunderstorm, there cannot be any possibility of illuminating the entire world. That dark it became. You see, sometimes, I don't know if it happens in your country or not, when there are thick dark clouds in the sky, in the evening, in the night, very dark clouds and very thick, no light, and then electricity is also gone. At that time, there is full darkness because the entire sky is covered with darkness and there is no electricity. You cannot see anything. At that time, when there is a thunderstorm, when there is a lightning, then, oh, there is some, you are able to see something. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that after the disappearance of all the Vaishnava Acharyas, those who are, the followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or the associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it has become so dark. The Gaudiya sky has become so dark that other than thunderstorm, there is no possibility of lightning possible in the Gaudiya sky. That lightning is nothing but Srila Bhaktivinod Thakur. People were attracted to Bhoga and Tyaga. Bhoga means enjoyment, Tyaga means renunciation. People were attracted to these two paths, renunciation and enjoyment, nothing else. But Srila Bhaktivinod Thakur, he had come to this material world and then he had propagated to all the living entities the supremacy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's doctrines, that how everyone is a servant of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. Our natural state is neither to enjoy nor to renounce anything. Our real identity is to engage ourselves in the service of the Supreme Lord. This is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taught, and Bhaktivinod Thakur had established through hundreds of books. He has written more than 100 books in different languages, in which he has written so many hymns, poems, and then he has also written essays. So many things he has written in Hindi, Urdu, Parsi, Sanskrit, Bangla, English. In various languages he has written. And it is hard for us to even believe or even imagine that he was working as a magistrate in those days. He was engaged in government duties. And magistrate means very busy. But in spite of that, in spite of his very, very busy schedule, how he had written so many scriptures is beyond imagination. It's a astonishment for all the living entities that how he could do so. More than 100 books in his lifetime. That only indicates that he is not an ordinary person, that he is an associate of the Supreme Lord. And the words that he has written, none of those words are ordinary material words. All these words are transcendental, divine. They don't have any trace of material element in it. So how this was possible? This is possible only because of his transcendental nature. That only indicates. That is why anyone going through the writings of Srila Bhaktivinod Thakur will immediately get captivated, attracted by the purity of those instructions or the purity of those prayers. Srila Bhaktivinod Thakur, he shifted to Godrum. He was staying in Godrum, and then he used to eat, late in the evening, like 6 or something like that. He would eat late in the evening, and then he would go to bed by 7:30. He would wake up 12 o'clock in the night, and then he would sit and chant. He would chant, he would write books during this time till Brahma Muhurta time, and then he will do his morning activities. And then after that, whatever he has to go to work, whatever it is, like in this manner, he had, he had committed himself, and he had shown to all of us. He had shown to all of us that how, by staying in such a grihastha ashram with so many children, not 1, 2, 7, 8 children he has got, and he is working in as a government official. In spite of that, how he has done all these things, it is only due to his transcendental nature. He was chanting in Godrum Dweep on the rooftop in the night, and suddenly he saw on this part of Ganga, he saw there is a divine light coming in the night. He saw, what is this light in the middle of the night? He thought that this must be, something spiritual, transcendental. It cannot be ordinary. So he came the next day. He came to this part from Godrum. He came here, and then he tried to pinpoint where he exactly saw this, beautiful illumination. And then he found that the current day Yogapeeth, the place where Mahaprabhu had taken birth or had appeared, that is the place where he saw from there. Then he immediately identified that place, and there were so many Muslims living there. So he asked, what is this place? Is there, what do you do here? No, we do farming here, agriculture. Oh, what do you do? What farming do you do? We don't know, sir. Whatever seed we put, we are only getting tulsi trees from here. We are putting the seeds of fruits or flowers or, vegetables, whatever we are putting, we are only getting tulsi tree here, nothing else. Then Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur understands that yes, this is another confirmation. Last night I have seen a light, another confirmation. Then he brought all the maps of ancient times when Mahaprabhu was present in this world. And then according to those maps and according to the descriptions, he saw that this is the place where actually Mahaprabhu had taken birth. He had confirmed it. And then he invited Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj and several others to even further confirm it. And as soon as Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj came there, he immediately jumped out of his basket. He was more than 100 years, very old, no energy in his body. His servant used to carry him by a basket, bamboo basket. He used to sit in the basket. And when he saw that Mahaprabhu's birthplace, immediately Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj jumped out of the basket and then he started dancing. He became tall in ecstasy. So this was another confirmation, and in this manner, and also later when Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, when he was wanting to install the deities there, construct a temple there, he saw that Adhokshaja Vishnu deity has come out of that place, which was worshipped by Jagannath Mishra. The Adhokshaja Vishnu deity which Jagannath Mishra worshipped, that was there. So with all these confirmations, this is the place where Mahaprabhu had performed the Passion. So in this manner, our Bhakti Thakur, he has not only preached the message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but also he identified all the pastime places of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and today we have all those places in front of us. It's all due to Bhaktivinod Thakur's contribution. That's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur's contribution to Gaudiya organization, or you can say to Mahaprabhu's Sampradaya, is beyond any description. No words can describe the contribution that Bhaktivinoda Thakur has made towards the path of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That is why after Bhaktivinoda Thakur's appearance and after he has compiled all these things, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he also appeared. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is the son of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he prayed in Jagannath temple in front of Vimala Devi that I want a eligible son who can carry forward the topmost message. And then after that, he, by the mercy and the blessings of Vimala Devi, Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was born. That's why his name was Bimala Prasad. His name was Bimala Prasad. And later was named Varshabhanavi Daita Das. So Bimala Prasad, he, or later he became Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he says that the stream of Bhaktivinod Thakur will never be stopped. Means after Bhakti, after Mahaprabhu had appeared, after he had established the doctrines of Krishna Bhakti, slowly with time they had, they took a different shape. But after Bhaktivinod Thakur had come, and then he has so nicely safeguarded all the instructions of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in such a manner that no Apasampradaya can take any place within this. Very clearly it can be understood that this is not within the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when, we read when we go through the instructions of Srila Bhaktivinod Thakur. That is why our Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, Bhaktivinod Dhara, the stream of Bhaktivinod Thakur, will never be stopped, will always continue to flow in this material world and constantly inundate everyone in the ocean of Krishna Prema. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he has foreseen Prithvi te achejata nagaradi gram sarvatra prachara hoibe mor naam, that all the towns and villages, in every town and village, jato ache nagaradi gram, in the entire world, my name will be sung. Sarvatra prachar hoibe morna, my name will be spread everywhere. That Mahaprabhu had, spoken this, he has given this prophecy very many years ago when he was there. But after Mahaprabhu's disappearance, it seemed like a very, very far-fetched reality. But after Bhaktivinod Thakur had come, he had streamlined in such a manner that today we are seeing that the teachings of Mahaprabhu are spread everywhere. As we already heard, that Mahaprabhu's teachings were not being accepted even by those who have taken birth in Bengal because of the behavior that the so-called followers of Mahaprabhu were doing. But after Srila Bhaktivinod Thakur appeared, it became so widespread, and his own son, or maybe you can say disciple, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur, he made this message go even beyond the Indian subcontinent up to the Western world. He has made this, teachings spread everywhere. So this is the contribution of Srila Bhaktivinod Thakur. Bhaktivinod Thakur is, he has not only written books or anything, but any kind of apasampradaya, any kind of those who are preachers of irreligion, Bhaktivinod Thakur was the one to refute them. There was one incident that has happened in the borders of Bengal and Orissa. There is one person by the name Bishkishan. He was proclaiming himself to be God, and he would declare to everyone that on this particular night I am going to exhibit my four-handed Narayana form. So everyone would go to see him. He had some other two arms that are fabricated. He would wear them, and then he would show his four-handed form, Narayana form, to everyone. So in this manner, so many followers, so many persons, they had become his followers. And also because he knew black magic and some other tantra shastras, which are destructive. They are not productive, they are destructive in nature. So because he has got this kind of captivating power or black magic and all these things, some people were attracted to him. He declared one day that on this particular night, all the women of this particular community should come and perform rasa dance with me. Now, certain men of that particular community, they went to the government and they complained that this person is, he has got some skills, some captivating powers, black magic and all these things. And then he's telling that on this particular day, everyone should go, all our women should go and do Raslila with him, otherwise he will burn all of us to ashes. What to do? Then, that time it was a British government, so the British, they gave this to Bhaktivinod Thakur, the responsibility to Bhaktivinod Thakur, that you please handle this. And Bhaktivinod Thakur, he has studied about that person and everything very, very closely, and then he went to Bishkishan, that you should not do all these things, it is not good for you. You should not cheat people in the name of religion. You should preach about God, you should make everyone devoted to God, but you should not cheat anyone with this kind of mentality. But he would not hear to any of Bhaktivinoda Thakur's sayings. Bhaktivinoda Thakur said that if you continue doing like this, I shall get you arrested. But he said that you do whatever you want. Bhaktivinoda Thakur had collected all proofs against this Bishkishan, and he submitted to the government, and government got him arrested. The government got him arrested, and while staying in the jail, in the prison house, Bhaktivinoda Thakur was still trying to get some more evidences against this person, so that to make the case even more stronger, so that a proper punishment is given to him. During this time, the Bishkishan, who was in the prison, he gave so many troubles to the family of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, because he has got black magic and so many other skills by which he could destroy. So he used all his mystic powers, destructive powers, to trouble Bhaktivinoda Thakur and his family. Bhaktivinoda Thakur himself had undergone severe illness during that time, but nothing could stop Bhaktivinoda Thakur from getting evidences. And then finally the person was sentenced to lifetime imprisonment. So because he is popular, many persons, there are some followers to him, so he could not digest this. Therefore he did not eat for 21 days in the prison house, and then he gave up his life, because he didn't want to stay in the prison for lifetime. So for 21 days he stopped eating and drinking, and then he gave up his life. So in this manner, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, not only Bishkishan, there are several other incidents where Bhaktivinoda Thakur was given responsibility, and each of those persons were completely, they were caught by the government and they were punished by the activities of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. It is Bhaktivinoda Thakur who has done all these things. So, our most revered Srila Gurudev, he often used to say that Gaudiya Math minus Bhaktivinoda Thakur is zero. Whether it is Gaudiya Math, Gaudiya Mission, Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math, or any Gaudiya organizations, without Bhaktivinoda Thakur is zero. Means morning, afternoon, evening, dusk, night, whatever kirtans we are singing, whatever aartis we are singing, the Bhog Aarti, all these kirtans, they are all given by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur only. And none of these kirtans are written out of his mind. They are all descending from above. And in this manner he had, compiled so many scriptures, more than 100. Most of the names are mentioned here. It will take a lot of time to read all those names, but so many scriptures he has written. And he has, also attended so many religious congregations and assemblies. Vishwa Vaishnava Raj Sabha, several places he attended, and then every place he delivered beautiful lectures about the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And another contribution is Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And Most revered Srila Gurudev, he also says one thing very, very often, that is that our Param Gurudev, Nityalil Prabhu Srila Bhakti Daita Madhav Goswami Maharaj, he used to say to his disciples that you don't have to do anything but translate the writings of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur into various languages. By doing so, you would have done greatest welfare for all the living entities. Nothing more is required. Nothing more is required. Just translate the writings of Bhaktivinoda Thakur into various languages of this world, and then by that the living entities will be benefited. So that Bhaktivinoda Thakur, I have little time, actually I have to go out. I will just read one small thing and then conclude here, where most revered Srila Gurudev writes about, the identity of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, that Bhaktivinoda Thakur himself has written, Yugala Sevai Shrirasa Mandale Niyukta Karamai Lalita Sakhira Ayogya Kinkari Vinoda Dhariche Pai. In Kalyan Kalpataru he has written his actual identity. He is telling Lalita Sakhira Ayogya Kinkari, that I am the servant, most ineligible servant of Lalita Sakhi. He is giving his identity. So that is, Bhaktivinoda Thakur has given his own identity, and also other place in Siddhi Lalasa also he writes, Varane Tadit Vas Taravali Kamala Manjari Nam Sade Baro Varsho Vayasa Satato Swananda Sukhada Dham. That Bhaktivinoda Thakur, his eternal place of residence is Swananda Sukhada Kunja. Here also Bodhruma, Swananda Sukhada Kunja. In Vrindavan it is Braja Swananda Sukhada Kunja. He is permanently living in Swananda Sukhada Kunja, that is the place of his residence. His name is Kamala Manjari, and he is always 12.5 years old girl. Eternally a 12.5-year-old girl in Swananda Sukhada. And Varane Tadit, and her body lustre was bright, very bright bodily lustre, and she is 12.5 years old in Swananda Sukhada. So that is, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is giving his own identity. As I already said, it seems that Bhaktivinoda Thakur is a male, he is a grihastha, married person, but that is not his actual identity. In this material world, the pure devotees, they come, they perform various activities in various forms, but what their real identity is, only those who have surrendered or submitted to him, they will be able to understand. So we will stop here. I need to go out for some little service. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo. Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan Panchatattvatmak Shri Gaura Hari Ki Jai. Paramaraditam Patita Pavana Stotra Sata Shri Srimad Bhakti Vallabh Tirtha Goswami Shri Guru Maharaj Ki Jai. Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupad Pramsa Stotra Sata Shri Srimad Bhakti Daita Madhava Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jagat Guru Shri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai. जय श्रील गौर किशोरदास बाबा जी महाराज की जय. सच्चिदानंद श्रील भक्तिविनोद ठाकुर महाशय की जय. श्रील भक्तिविनोद ठाकुर महाशय शुभ आविर्भाव तिथि पूजा की जय. जय समागत हरि कथा श्रवणकारी भक्त वृंद की जय. श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि श्री गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. श्री श्री हरिनाम प्रभु की जय. श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय. गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल.